Things that are one of a kind are bought and sold on Pawn Stars. People from all over the world have become fans of the strange group over the years. The pawn shop crew has a lot of money thanks to their toughness and unique personalities. You might be shocked to learn that Chumlee, the fan favorite who makes a lot of mistakes, is the richest of them all. How did he do it? Wait until the end to find out. It was September 8, 1982 in Henderson, Nevada, and Chumlee's birth name is Austin Lee Russell. He is more than just a funny face on Pawn Stars. It's interesting to see how he went from being a passionate collector to a reality TV star and a successful trader. As a child in Las Vegas, Chumlee probably got his love of gathering and selling from the things he saw around him. His father worked as a DJ and his mother worked in the gambling business. There are two very different sides to the city that is full of fun. From a young age, Chumlee learned how to trade, which set the stage for his future job. Chumlee's career as a pawn shop owner began long before the cameras came out. His work began with a friendship he had as a child with Corey Big Hoss Harrison, who was the son of gold and silver pawn shop owner Rick Harrison. Rick and his father, Richard Old Man Harrison, opened the famous Las Vegas pawn shop in 1989. It became a favorite place for both boys to play. Chumlee and Corey worked at the shop when they were teens, long before reality TV came along. For 5 years, Chumlee worked behind the counter and learned how the pawn business worked. Even though he started out doing less exciting chores, his natural ability to connect with customers was noticed. He quickly moved up from working behind the scenes to making deals with customers as they came in. When the idea for a reality TV show about the pawn shop came up, Chumlee wasn't sure if she would be on it. At least 10 other workers were also trying to get the job, so he wasn't even sure he'd make it. Well, they had a plan though. Friendship with Corey goes back a long time, so he chose to lean on it. His secret tools were their natural friendship and playful banter. Chumlee was determined to be himself and escape camera jitters, and it worked. The directors thought that the way he interacted with the Harrison family was unique. The show was an instant hit, and Chumlee and the rest of the crew became reality TV stars and made a lot of money. Chumlee's risk to just be himself in front of the cameras led him down a path he never could have thought as a teenager, working in a gold and silver pawn shop with strange people and old things. When Pawn Stars first aired on the History Channel in 2009, it changed Chumlee's life forever. The show brought Chumlee to a bigger audience. His nickname came from the dad of a childhood friend who thought he looked a lot like the Walrus character in Tennessee Tuxedo. Even though his laid-back personality made him popular with fans, Chumlee's co-stars often poked fun at him. They made fun of how stupid they thought he was by calling him names like the Village Idiot. It didn't bother Chumlee though. He knew people didn't think much of him. The episode of Pinball Wizards gave him a chance to shine. Here he showed off his amazing skill with pinball machines, which made Corey laugh. This wasn't just a one-time show of information. Later in Never Surrender, Chumlee fixed a gas-powered toy car, and in Honest Abe, he found a fake pair of Air Jordan 5 sneakers, showing that he was good at more than just pinball. Pawn Stars not only made Chumlee famous, but it also gave him chances to follow his dream of starting his own business. He set up his own business and began creating and selling silly things like t-shirts. He even set up personal meetings with fans to connect with them. The shop owner, Rick Harrison, saw that the need was rising and bought half of Chumlee's business for $155,000 in 2010. The pawn shop was able to handle the high volume of sales for Chumlee's goods thanks to this smart move. Before becoming a reality TV star and business owner, Chumlee worked behind the scenes in a pawn shop. This was just the start of her story on Pawn Stars. He took on the role of the character he played on TV and used his fame to open a candy shop and a line of merchandise, which made him even more successful as an entrepreneur. He won a BMI TV Music Award for his work on Pawn Stars in 2011. This was an early highlight in his career. It was even recognized by being nominated for a Daytime Emmy Award, which added to his fame in the TV world. Even though Chumlee was having a lot of success, he was also slowly changing because of a terrible loss. His father died in 2009, just 2 weeks before the first episode of Pawn Stars. He had been sick with pancreatic cancer. Some of Chumlee's beloved possessions were things that his skilled woodsman father had made himself. These beloved heirlooms were worth much more than money could buy, and always made him think of his father. They are the only thing he would never think about selling. Because his father had died, and because Corey had lost a lot of weight, Chumlee started his own health journey. He lost more than 100 pounds by working out hard and following a strict diet that included giving up processed foods and eating more healthy foods instead. Nothing too much, nothing too little became his new motto. But it's not always easy to stick to big changes in your lifestyle. When 2016 came around, Chumlee had put on 50 pounds again. He kept losing and gaining weight in this way, and in early 2019, he weighed 350 pounds, which was his highest weight. It was very clear that Chumlee was having a hard time with his weight. In October 2021, Chumlee finally decided to have gastric sleeve surgery because she wanted to make a change that would last. The treatment, which is meant to make the stomach much smaller, helps people lose weight quickly by making them feel much less hungry. After a lot of hard work and this medical help, Chumlee was able to keep his weight at around 190 pounds. The star of Chumlee wasn't just inside the gold and silver pawn shop. He tried his hand at other types of entertainment after becoming famous as a pawn star. He played himself on shows like iCarly, tried baking with Chumlee, and talked about how much he loved cars and counting cars. He even got a small part in the 2017 movie The Polka King, where he shared the screen with the great Jack Black. His reputation as a well-known person in the entertainment business was strengthened by this wide range of projects. But Chumlee didn't like to take it easy. He wisely looked into other opportunities in the entertainment world because he saw room for growth. Because he loved music so much, he went to DJ school and got better at playing the turntables. People paid attention to his first public performance as a DJ because of a writer who was said to have asked for Girl Scout cookies and hot girls. Chumlee was always looking for ways to make money, and he even said he would like to become a talent scout for aspiring Las Vegas singers. This showed that he wanted to have more power in the music business. It was time to see what else Chumlee could do, besides making Pawn Stars so popular. Fame often shines a sharp light, and Chumlee's path was no different. His whole world fell apart in March 2016. A sexual attack charge against him led to a police raid on his home in Las Vegas. The police found a disturbing scene: methamphetamine, marijuana, and a lot of weapons, including 12 guns. Chumlee's image took a big hit when he was arrested and charged with 19 drug crimes and 1 weapons crime. The media were going crazy. News of the raid, the disturbing things found in Chumlee's home, and the disturbing probe into the sexual assault painted a very different picture from the likable Pawn Star's character. This included information about a chum-chum room with a stripper pole that hinted at the fact that his life might have some darker sides. The police reports claim that the large amounts of drugs found meant they were dealing drugs made things worse. After putting up $62,000 in bail, Chumlee went to court in May 2016. He agreed to plead guilty to the illegal weapons charge. As long as the person promised to follow through on 3 years of probation, the remaining charges would be lowered to crimes. Even though Chumlee was never officially charged with sexual abuse, the incident did a lot of damage to her reputation. The consequences were big. Pawn Stars, a show that's supposed to be fun for the whole family, became linked to this much darker story. Chumlee's appearance on the show, which used to be funny, was now overshadowed by debate. Even so, Chumlee showed signs of being strong amidst the chaos. By going through the court system and taking the plea deal, he tried to lessen the effects of his actions in the future. Even though this time left a mark, it wasn't the end of his trip. Chumlee's impact isn't just about fame, though. His heart is kind, and he constantly supports good causes. At the annual Anti-Up for Autism event in 2014, he did a lot to raise money and publicity for autism research. Chumlee wanted to be a business in more ways than just selling t-shirts and making public appearances. A lot of people were surprised when he went into the sweets world. You can find Chumlee's candy on the boulevard across the street from the famous gold and silver pawn shop. It opened in May 2017. It was owned and run by him and his brother Sage, and it gave fans and tourists a sugar rush. This site was smart because Pawn Stars fans who went to the pawn shop to see their favorite character could quickly cross the street and get a big bag of gummy worms. If they were lucky, Chumlee might even be there to ring up their purchases. But there were some bumps in the road on the way to candy-coated success. There was a big problem for Chumlee when he tried to open his online store and start his marketing effort. It's too bad that Chumlee's candy.com and Chumlee's candy on theblove.com were already taken. Patrick Keys, a cyber squatter, bought the names with the hope of making a lot of money when Chumlee called. Chumlee had to think of a way to get back the domain names he wanted without paying the likely very high price. He could either come up with a new name that is just as catchy, most likely not, or do something else. It looks like the Chumlee candy business owner wouldn't give up without a fight. Chumlee has many hobbies outside of working at the pawn shop. He really loves playing cards and has a penchant for Pokemon, sports cards, and even more unusual cards like cryptic and UFC ones. He has a separate Instagram account for this hobby, where he posts pictures of his collection and talks about how exciting it is to open new packs and look for rare items. The fact that Chumlee is happy to own a Charizard rainbow card worth $600 shows how dedicated and knowledgeable he is about collecting cards. He loves games in real life as well as in the virtual world. Chumlee says he has a pretty high level in the famous mobile game Pokemon Go, which shows how playful he is outside of work. Chumlee got the idea for his exciting independent project from playing old video games as a child in the 1980s and 1990s. Chumlee's adventure, The Quest for Pinky, a brand new cartridge-based game, made just for the famous Nintendo Entertainment System, was made with his help. Chumlee was inspired by the old Kung Fu game and wanted to add a nostalgic and Pinstars feel to the project. He started a successful Kickstarter effort to raise money for the project's development and production, which shows that he is an enterprising person. The star of the game is a pixelated version of his loving dog, Mr. Piffles, also known as Pinky. Chumlee has more skills than that. He's also just starting out as a photographer, which shows another side of his talent. His photography website, which is housed on the gold and silver pawn shop platform, has prints of some of his original works. His portfolio has some amazing pictures, like Desert Wasteland, which shows the haunting beauty of abandoned buildings, and all the lights that make the Las Vegas skyline look so alive at night. It's clear that his work is famous because some pieces have already sold out. At this point in time, Chumlee's life was full of more problems than just work problems. Olivia Radaman was a student at the University of Nevada when he met her in 2013, who was getting better at taking pictures. They didn't start dating right away. From being friends, they turned into a love relationship by 2016. Their relationship grew stronger, and in 2018 they proposed in Honolulu, Hawaii. As usual, Chumlee showed his love for Olivia by giving her a 1.5-carat diamond ring when they got engaged. Their love seemed stronger because they had the same hopes and dreams. Olivia told them at their pre-wedding party that she wanted to start her own business and one day own an eyelash workshop or even a chain of them. Chumlee, who was always there for them, said that they might be able to combine their businesses with his candy business. In 2019, they got married in a small ceremony at the Royal Hawaiian Wedding, which is also where they got proposed. It looked like everything in Chumlee's life was going to plan: a growing business and a new wife who shares his desire to be an entrepreneur. The fairy tale, on the other hand, began to fall apart. Changes were clear by 2020. The couple stopped sharing love photos on social media, which was a big change from the past few years when they shared a lot of loving posts. They deleted their pictures together, which was a sign of possible trouble, even though they didn't unfollow each other. Chumlee himself had his own problems. People know that he has a lot of problems with his weight. He lost a lot of weight one time, but then gained it all back after he married Olivia. His health went through big ups and downs, and in 2020 he had to go to the hospital for breathing problems. In addition, his past legal problems, such as charges for drug and gun possession, made it harder for him to stay stable. Olivia and Chumlee were still following each other on social media in 2023, but there were no signs that they were getting back together romantically. Olivia had even been seen sharing pictures of herself with famous people, which seemed to point to a fresh start. Even so, the great respect and care they used to share seemed to still be there, as shown by the fact that they sometimes liked each other's posts. It's not just pawn shops and candy that made Chumlee rich. In 2019, he sold his fancy Las Vegas home for a cool $1.375 million, showing how good he was at real estate. He bought the house 7 years ago for $1.1 million, and this sale shows how good he is at making investments that pay off. The huge 2-acre farm had a house that was 6,200 square feet, a guest house, and a huge backyard, with a pool surrounded by rocks that was great for parties. Chumlee likes to show off his need for speed when he's not business deals or eating candy on the street. He calls himself a car fanatic, and his amazing collection says a lot about how successful he is. This includes a very expensive Maserati, which stands for style and speed, and a very expensive Rolls-Royce Phantom, which is the very meaning of luxury in a car. Chumlee's amazing net worth of about $5 million shows how successful he is. His leading part on Pawn Stars helped him make a lot of money, making him one of the richest cast members on the show. However, his many business interests also played a big role. Chumlee knows how to turn his interests into businesses. For example, his clothing and accessories line serves his loyal fan group, and his popular candy store
is located in a great spot on the Las Vegas Strip. His achievements are still impressive, even if his net worth isn't as high as that of experienced investors or tech giants. Chumlee's story shows how important it is to work hard and never give up on your dreams. Unlike many famous people, he didn't get rich from his parents. He started out as a worker in a pawn shop and worked his way up to become a famous businessman and media personality. He worked hard and made his own success, showing that anyone can reach their financial goal with drive and desire, even if they want to have fun along the way.